Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo ha sido este cambio? Tú eres un ícono de los shredders de los inicios, y cómo es el cambio de dejar el shred a pasar a hacer este trabajo que es increíble. ¿No extrañas ese tiempo?
Well, he first reached and he asks, is this change of turning from being a shredder now to this change? Has it been difficult for you? Don't you miss the shredding thing?
Honestly, I'm kind of struggling to hear the questions over that fan, but I think you're talking about the transition I made from what I was doing on my first record to now.
Right.
So I can address that, and I know you're going to hate me because on the way over here he asked me to try to answer the questions in 10 words or less, and I think it's impossible to do that.
Bueno, para explicar eso, yo le pedí que dijera frases cortas para poder ir traduciendo. Dice que lo voy a odiar. Eso puede ser lo mejor que pueda.
I'm going to answer the question the best I can, and then you can translate the best you can, and then if you really want to know what I said, you can probably look at it online. But I get that question often regarding you know, where I was when I was making my first record, which for me is a lifetime ago. I was 17 when I did my first album.
Él tenía 17 años cuando hizo ese primer disco.
And obviously now I'm much older. You can see the gray hair coming in.
Ahora ya estoy más viejo.
I think it's just a natural transition, and maybe one of the things that's kind of unique about me is that I pretty much averaged an album, in some cases 2 a year.
Es una transición muy natural para él porque él promedia el álbum
per year. So what you're seeing when you look at it from now and you look back, you're seeing a transition, development and growth.
Lo que ustedes están viendo es una transición natural que implica un crecimiento y un desarrollo.
So I think it would be stranger if now at 43 I was still making the same records that I was making when I was 17 and 18. It's just a natural progression, and music for me is something that is...
Es una progresión natural, no es lo que estaba haciendo a los 17 años o lo que hago ahora.
It's more of a release. It's something I do to kind of, I don't know, it's more like therapy, I guess you'd say.
Creo que la música es más bien algo terapéutico para mí.
I'm not writing songs for any reason other than I hear ideas and I develop them. So the short answer is that was a long time ago, and now this is what I've become.
La respuesta corta es, eso fue hace mucho tiempo y ahora pues es parte de una transición. Yo desarrollo ideas, como pongo componentes, es lo que hago. Otra pregunta.
¿Cómo se eligió? ¿Tu técnica legato es por alguna influencia?
How did you draft your musicians? What did you look for? You
got drafted. This guys got drafted.
Yeah. Did you recruited them?
And the only guys I could find that would deal with me. No, actually, well, there's a community of musicians where I live in Los Angeles.
Hay una comunidad de músicos donde yo vivo en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
When you've been there long enough, people kind of know each other. And Mike came into the gig.
De alguna manera nos conocemos todos. Mike vino un día a una tocada.
Through my previous bass player.
A través de mi bajista anterior.
When he left to do other things, Mike brought Dylan in. And
cuando el otro bajista se fue, entró.
But it comes down to when you play with people, you know, you play with people that you think can push you and inspire you, and these guys as musicians, obviously they play my music very well.
Cuando tocas con alguien buscas que te inspiren y estos músicos tocan mi música muy bien.
They play my music the way I want to hear it, but also they have a whole other background of influences and styles that I don't have. So that also pushes me and inspires me to play better and be a better
Ellos
musician.
también tienen una serie de influencias y de estilos distintos que también me motiva y estoy a gusto con ellos. ¿Otra pregunta?
¿Qué grupos en español no le gustan y si conoce grupos mexicanos.
Do you have any, or do you know any groups in Spanish or Mexican bands that you are acquainted?
Unfortunately, I don't.
No,
Sorry. Bad guy.
Pregunta.
Guitarras, ¿qué especialidad tienen o qué diferencias tienen que se acomodan a él que no tienen
Técnica legato.
What's so
¿Es por
special
alguna
in your
influencia?
instruments? Do you choose a special guitar?
¿Cuál es la razón?
What do you look in your instruments? Are they spatial, custom made? What do you look for?
Well, I have my own model
Tengo mi propio modelo
with Fender,
con Fender,
and it's a Telecaster.
una Telecaster.
But it's been modified and customized to my specifications.
Esta guitarra fue modificada y hecha a la medida según mis especificaciones.
Everything from the neck size, the fret
El
size,
tamaño del brazo, los trastes,
the wood,
la madera,
the pickups.
las pastillas.
There's a lot of changes in the guitar that make it very interesting and special. And that's the guitar I play. The cool thing is that anybody that is interested in my sound can actually go to a music store and buy the guitar that I actually play, which is pretty cool. And I also...
Is it an affordable model?
I guess it depends on your income. I mean, it's in line with, as far as affordable, it's right in line with all of the other guitars that are of that quality. So on that regard, yes.
Pertenece a una guitarra de la familia Fender.
It's not an
Está
extremely
disponible.
expensive instrument by any means.
Pero tiene algunas características que a él le modificaron los laureles, ¿no? ¿Pregunta?
Explícanos un poco de tu nuevo álbum, 24 horas, cuál fue la fuente de inspiración, cómo va. Sabemos que es un álbum muy equilibrado, que trae varios elementos para modificar tu energía.
What do you want to say about your new album, 24 Hours? We know it's a very balanced album.
Yeah, well that's the last record that I've released, is 24 Hours. So we're going to be playing songs from that record here.
Vamos a tocar
And,
de ese disco.
you know, to talk about an album specifically, for me after a while it's difficult to do because I just continually write songs over the course of time and I get enough that I like. If I collect 10 out of 20 or however many there are, and I like them, I'll develop them and I'll put them on a record, and that's pretty much what this is.
Son canciones que pues, a mí me gustaron, que escogí detenidamente y bueno, las puse en el disco y vamos a ver qué les parece. Vamos a tocar algunas en el show.
Por acá. En relación a la presentación de los dos conciertos, en relación a las presentaciones, ¿por qué no hacer un concierto eléctrico con una sesión acústica? Porque pienso que hay gente luego que no quisiera ver las dos partes, ¿no? Pero luego no hay dinero para comprar los dos boletos.
Why are you dividing this shows on acoustic and then on electric? What is it all together?
That's what they asked me to do.
Sí, dilo.
Do you have any influence for your legato technique, or what's the reason for your technique?
I think my technique comes out of laziness because initially when I was learning the guitar, I was trying to learn all these different things, and then I found myself doing certain things that came easier to me than other things, and then I started developing those. And one of the things, like you mentioned, was the legato aspect of playing the guitar and a few other things that I got into. But after I started getting comfortable with those things, then I tried to work on the stuff that I couldn't do so well, which required more work. But in learning technique, that's basically all that really is, building a foundation, because you have to learn the instrument and then you get your skill set together, and then from there it's more about what you create with it, you know, the music you make and the ideas that you develop.
Mi técnica parte de la flojera, porque yo no podía tocar y pues me daba cuenta que había cosas que encontraba mucho más fácil de hacer y decidí partir de este punto donde no tenía que pasar mucho tiempo en la guitarra y bueno, fui creando un sonido, fui creando, por ejemplo salió la técnica esta de legato, que es la que desarrolla, hasta que él empezó a crear ya un sonido. Él considera que es mucho más importante, más que una técnica, sino la creación de innovación, la creación de un sonido propio.
Ahora con la tecnología que va a ser significativo sigue siendo difícil. Y ahora
well, she's asking about, background poise and stuff. Is it the same now with all this technology? Is it still people get surprised as it used to get during the 80s? With all this, Guitar Hero things and toys and stuff.
I mean, I'm not really sure I understand exactly what she's asking, but I mean, I can interpret that as talking about the 80s being a time where people, even in small towns, would always go out to shows and see bands, and I think there's a lot less of that now. I think that there's a lot more distractions. More people stay home and stay on the internet and do that sort of thing. People still go to concerts, but I think that, from what I remember when I was a teenager, we didn't have the internet or all the stuff to distract us, to make us stay home. So we got out and we got involved with other people socially and did things and more activities. So now I think more people definitely, obviously, stay home and play around with the computer.
Él considera que sí, los tiempos han cambiado, que en los 80s pues era lo que hacíamos los jóvenes, ¿no? Salir a ver conciertos. Ahora hay infinidad de distractores, sobre todo en internet, la gente ya no sale y todo esto pues ha cambiado. Ya la gente se queda en su casa y no va a ver tanto música en vivo.
Si hay algún guitarrista que actualmente le llame la atención, ¿por qué le llamaría?
Do you happen to like some guitar player nowadays? Do you have a favorite, and why?
There's a lot of guys that sound great. I mean, unknown guys, known guys. I'm not really tuned into it like I was. I mean, when I was a teenager, I was learning and kind of obsessed with learning the instrument. I'm more interested now, I think, in things that I don't know how to do on the guitar. One of our friends, flamenco player, Ben Woods, somebody that I heard recently that impressed me and kind of made me want to learn some new things, and came up to the house and gave me a guitar lesson one night. So there's always things to learn and develop. That's the cool thing about the instrument. But I'm not really like I was when I was younger, like kind of obsessed with like listening to guys. Once I started making records and doing gigs, I kind of got into my own ideas and writing my own music, and that became my focus.
Cuando era un adolescente, pues sí, tenía muchos héroes, ¿no? Pero ya cuando empiezo a hacer mi propia música, como que vas perdiendo eso y te concentras en lo tuyo. En un momento dado que sí, conocí por ejemplo a Ben Woods, que es un guitarrista maravilloso, que inclusive me vino a mi casa y me dio una clase, pero eso se va perdiendo, ¿no? Vas desarrollando tu propio sonido y tu propio trabajo, y eso es lo que te concentras.
¿Por qué cambió de marca de guitarra de Ibáñez a Fender?
Why did you go from Ibanez to Fender?
That happened so long ago. I mean, I've been playing the guitar for, I don't know how many years, since I was 7. And out of all that time, I played Ibanez for maybe 2 years. So I guess because I had an Ibanez guitar on my album cover, people want to talk about Ibanez guitars, but I don't know. I played Fender for over 20 years. That's what I play.
Eso no hace mucho tiempo, y yo empecé a tocar Ibáñez porque era la guitarra que tenía y me salió una foto del álbum. Fue como por 2 años, pero yo ya 22 tocando con Fender.
¿Aprendió mucho, poco o nada de tocar con otras bandas para lo que es ahora su show?
How much do you think you learned? Lots or not too much from playing with our bands to what you are now? Did they serve you as teachers somehow?
How much did I learn from what?
Yeah, did you learn from playing with your previous bands?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you work with other musicians, you learn things, you pick things up. And I think an important thing for young musicians is to always try to play with people that maybe are a little older than them. I mean, that's what I did when I was learning. I was in a band with guys that were much older than me, that had a lot more knowledge and more experience, and I picked up on that. So anytime you can get in a position where you can play with people that you can pick up things from, that speeds up your development.
Sí, claro, aprendí mucho de ellos por la simple razón de que eran mayores que yo. Siempre hay que buscar eso, entrar con grupos donde haya gente con más experiencia de la cual pueda uno aprender. ¿Otra?
Acerca de su técnica en la mano derecha, antes solía usar la plumilla de la guitarra y actualmente usa los dedos. ¿Por qué hubo ese cambio de técnica?
Regarding your right hand technique, why are you now using finger style?
Something different.
Different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just got bored with what I was doing.
Es algo
Trying to
diferente.
change it up a little bit.
Hacer un cambio. ¿Y más?
Si nos podría compartir algo de lo que veremos en los dos shows, alguna de las canciones que lanzar, escuchar.
Can you give us some names of the songs you're going to play in the shows?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to play stuff from the 24 Hours CD, the title track. We'll play Probably Help Me, is one we play from that record. Bad Situation. I don't have the set list in front of me.
No tiene set, pero sí, la que mencioné.
I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you, you know. I want to be surprised, right?
¿No más?
Si actualmente mantiene una rutina de estudio o simplemente ya es la parte creativa al tocar.
Do you have a study routine or just a creative part when you play?
Well, before I go on stage, I like to pick up the guitar for maybe 20 minutes or so and just get my fingers moving, and also with the voice, you know, do a little bit of singing. You know, I might sit backstage and sing a couple verses of a couple songs just to get things going. Nothing too elaborate.
Sí, normalmente antes de tocar, 20 minutos antes practica ejercicios de digitación y algo de vocalización, canto un par de canciones para calentar, ¿no?
Para los chicos, ¿cómo ha sido esta experiencia de integrar parte de su música y su arte ahora que se integran con Richie y cómo lo plasman en el show?
This is for you guys. How has it been now that you're part of Richie's band? How do you like it? How do you integrate this in your show?
Well, being with Richie for a while now, like the coolest part about playing with him is it's been different than every other gig that I've done. You know, it feels like a band. You know, it isn't just going out and playing Richie songs. We hang out like a band, and we go on stage and play like a band, play together, and take care of each other on stage. So it's been a great experience, and he's one of the greatest guitar players and vocalists and songwriters on the planet. So you know, always inspired creatively, and it's been a hell of a ride. We're looking forward to playing here.
Ha estado muy bien porque nos consideramos los tres como una banda, no es salir y tocar las canciones de Richie. Se ha dado este espíritu de banda integrada Creemos que él es uno de los compositores y intérpretes más importantes del planeta. Entonces es muy bueno para ellos porque sí tienen el espíritu de unión, ¿no? Que banda, ¿no? Ambas de hueso.
Y armó su grupo.
Well, there's 3 questions in one. What do you expect from the Mexican audience? That's the first one, and the others are, how do you like Mexico? Have you been visiting around, or have you been pyramids, or?
No, I haven't had any time to see anything really other than pretty much the hotel and the radio station. I will have to make a separate tourism trip. I've been to Cabo before, but this is my first time in Mexico City.
Es su primera vez en la Ciudad de México, ha estado en Cabo San Lucas.
But I mean,
sí, me gustaría hacer un tour.
She's asking about what I expect. I never expect anything, to be honest.
No espera nada.
It's not for me to expect the audience to do anything. I'm excited to be here, and I'm very respectful of the fact that I've got the opportunity to have an audience, people that are curious and want to hear the music. And so really my only objective is to do the best I can when we get on stage and play and have a good time, and hopefully everybody enjoys the experience and they get invited back.
Pues no espera en realidad nada, él tiene que hacer su arte y espera que les guste. No ha conocido nada más que lo poco él llegó cuando se perdió en una estación de radio, su primera vez en México. No espera nada en especial, espera que les guste y que lo vuelvan a invitar.
Bueno chicos, sí, muchas gracias para todos. Si quieren hacernos una foto general.